One of the issues that comes up early in the game during development, because it really is the essence of development, is when and how do you start negotiating with, talking to potential financial sources. It is very common, in fact more common recently, for finders to become involved with producers, in effect representing that they are able to find potential investors or an investor with regard to financing of a picture. Sometimes, by the way, that finding may involve the finding of seed money with regard to development, a so-called development fund. In those situations, the primary issue is wheel spinning with regard to finders that can occur. Many times, a finder may claim that he or she is a principal. In other words, that they, quote, have the money. What has to be done is there has to be some a degree of almost cross-examination to find out just exactly who the finder is, what the background is, and the likelihood that this person will be able to find someone. Then, by the way, when the finder claims that they have a source of the finance, what's very important is that we determine whether or not this is a likely possibility for finance. And one of the first issues that comes up and becomes difficult is obtaining proof of funds, to know before a deal is fully completed, perhaps even before negotiated, that the purported source of finance really has the funds and doesn't, in effect, turn out to be a finder on finder. In other words, somebody who claims to have the money, but really what he's going to do is go out and try to find somebody else that might provide the money. All of these things create issues with regard to delay, create issues with regard to the fact that a lawyer should be assessing what the situation is, what the nature of the finder is, and even what the proposed kind of deal would be. And then, of course, doing a finder's agreement. The finder's agreement is something that has to be carefully reviewed. For example, it would be very dangerous to enter into a so-called exclusive finder arrangement, where only that finder can represent the producer in finding money. One has to avoid that. One has to also avoid the possibility that any fee would be due before funding found by that finder actually is received by the producer. It's only then that whatever fee or percentage would be payable to the finder. There are a number of other issues that become involved in this situation, confidentiality and other factors. The matter of when you try to seek to negotiate and find financing is whenever you can. It's simply a matter of catch as catch can. Because in this situation, you're trying to obtain a commitment from a number of different kinds of potential investors. Let's say that they might fall into two general categories. The civilian, meaning somebody who really knows nothing about the motion picture business, or the professional, meaning somebody or a company that has some involvement in the motion picture industry, has some experience, might even be an investment banker, might be a distributor, might be a foreign sale agency. There are a number of possibilities, and in those two situations, the so-called civilian investor raises some of the more difficult problems because the finder or somebody may have encouraged this person to invest under circumstances where they really don't know what the risks are, they don't know what the problems are, and therefore your negotiation with them or that kind of investor is really an educative process. You really have to explain to them what the issues are and what the problems are. And then, by the way, if it's a very wealthy investor, it's usually the case that that wealthy investor has to educate himself. But the issue is that at some point, that civilian investor has to have some idea of what he's getting into.